You almost didn't notice it. It was just another Tuesday morning, coffee in hand, half awake. You walked past that same snake plant you've had for years. The one that survives no matter what you do to it. Forget to water it for a month. It doesn't care. Stick it in a dark corner, it thrives anyway. But this time, something was different. A tall, slender stalk, rising straight from the center. Small white flowers, releasing a soft, sweet fragrance into the air. And you froze. Because snake plants almost never bloom, some people own one for 15, even 20 years, and never see a single flower. So why now? Why your plant? Why this moment? Here's what's strange. Science has an answer. Ancient tradition has an answer. And somehow, they're pointing to the exact same truth. Let's talk about this plant for a second. Really talk about it. If you've ever walked into an office building, a hotel lobby, a dentist's waiting room, Chansard, there was a snake plant sitting in the corner. Nobody watering it, nobody paying attention to it. And yet, there it was. Tall, green, completely unbothered. That's not an accident. That's exactly why this plant became one of the most popular indoor plants in America. Snake plant, scientifically known as Sansevieria, survives almost anything you throw at it. Low light, fine. Forget to water it for weeks, it'll forgive you. Dry indoor air, drafty windows, inconsistent temperatures. None of it seems to matter. This is the plant for people who say, I kill every plant I own. Because honestly, you'd have to try really, really hard to kill this one. And that's exactly what makes its blooming so strange. Think about it this way. Most plants that bloom easily are sensitive. They demand attention. The orchid that needs precise humidity, the fiddle leaf fig that drops leaves if you so much as move it to a different room, those plants bloom, or thrive, because they're constantly responding to small changes around them. Snake plant is the opposite. It's built to ignore change, to push through neglect, to just survive, no matter what. So when a plant that's specifically evolved to tolerate almost anything suddenly decides to bloom, that's not a small thing. That's not random. Here's a number that might surprise you. There are people who've had the exact same snake plant for 15, even 20 years, sitting in the exact same spot, watered the exact same way, and they have never once seen it flower. Not a single bloom in 2 decades. And then there's someone else. Maybe they've only had their plant for 2 or 3 years. And one random morning, there it is, a flower stalk, rising up out of nowhere. So what's the difference between these two people? Same plant, same species, wildly different outcomes. That question alone has fascinated plant lovers, scientists, and spiritual practitioners for generations. Because here's the thing. If this plant can survive literally anything, then blooming isn't about survival at all. It's about something else entirely. Something more specific. Something that has to align just right. And that's where this gets interesting. Because long before anyone studied this scientifically, people noticed a pattern across very different cultures, in very different parts of the world. Generations of plant keepers all came to a strikingly similar conclusion about what it means when this particular plant decides to flower. They didn't have a lab. They didn't have research papers. But they were paying attention, and what they noticed might be closer to the truth than you'd think. Long before anyone studied this plant in a lab, people were already paying attention to it, across completely different parts of the world. Families noticed the exact same pattern. In many homes across the American South, especially among families who held on to older folk traditions, the snake plant was never just decoration. It was placed right behind the front door, on purpose, Why? Because those tall, upright leaves, pointing straight toward the ceiling, were believed to act almost like a blade, cutting through bad energy before it ever had a chance to settle inside the home. And in the bedroom, it carried a different meaning entirely. There's an old saying, passed down through generations, that if a household keeps experiencing conflict, placing a snake plant in the room where the couple sleeps will quietly restore peace. Now, here's where it gets interesting. This plant actually does something at night that most houseplants don't. It releases oxygen while you sleep, instead of during the day. So even if you don't believe in old sayings, better air quality at night genuinely does mean better sleep. And better sleep genuinely does mean fewer arguments. Tradition and biology, quietly agreeing with each other, but blooming. That changed the meaning completely. In West African communities, where this plant actually originates, a blooming snake plant wasn't just noticed. It was announced, neighbors were told, families gathered at night just to watch the flowers slowly open. Because to them, this wasn't random. It meant the home had reached a kind of harmony, rare enough to deserve celebration. That same belief crossed the ocean. In the American South, particularly within African American communities that carried these traditions forward, a blooming snake plant became known as a sign that financial blessing was already on its way. One woman in New Orleans told me about her grandmother's plant. It bloomed back in 1985. 4 months later, her grandfather, who'd been out of work for nearly a year, was offered a job that supported their family for the next 2 decades. Her grandmother always said the plant knew before they did. And it wasn't just one story. It wasn't just one region either. Even indigenous communities in the Southwest. After this plant arrived in America, notice something similar. They called it the plant of standing energy, because of how it grows straight up, never bending, never folding. To them, when it bloomed, it meant something simple, but powerful. The hard work was finally paying off. The home was finally safe. Different cultures, different continents, different centuries, even. And somehow, they all arrived at the very same conclusion. Now let's talk about Feng Shui, because this is where things start to connect in a way you probably didn't expect. Over the past few decades, Feng Shui has become incredibly popular in American homes. Not just among people who study it deeply, but among everyday homeowners looking to bring better energy into their space. And the snake plant holds a very specific place in that practice. It's considered a plant of rising energy. Those leaves, growing straight upward, aren't just visually striking. In Feng Shui, that upward shape is believed to lift stagnant energy, to get things moving again in corners of the home that feel heavy, stuck, or forgotten. That's exactly why it's so often placed near front doors, or in those awkward, lifeless corners every home seems to have. It's meant to wake the space up. But here's where it gets really interesting. When this plant blooms, Feng Shui doesn't interpret that as a sign that good fortune is coming. It means good fortune already arrived. Think of it less like a prediction, and more like a confirmation. The flower isn't a forecast. It's proof. Proof that whatever heaviness, whatever stuck energy used to live in that space, has already been cleared. And location matters too. If the bloom appears near the entrance, it's read as a sign that protection is strong, and that good things have a clear, open path into the home. If it blooms in a living room or a shared family space, it's interpreted as a peak moment of harmony between the people living there. And if it happens to bloom in a bedroom, it's seen as a sign of emotional balance, a kind of quiet peace settling over whoever sleeps in that room. Now here's the part that genuinely surprised me while researching this. Feng Shui doesn't clash with science here. It doesn't contradict it at all. In fact, it almost predicts it. Because when you actually look at the environmental conditions that cause this plant to bloom from a purely scientific standpoint, they're remarkably similar to what Feng Shui describes as a balanced, well cared for space. Stability, consistency. Attention. Two completely different frameworks. One spiritual, one rooted entirely in biology. And somehow, they keep landing on the same answer. So if ancient tradition says this, and modern design philosophy agrees with it too, what does actual plant science have to say? Because that's where this mystery finally gets solved. All right, this is the part where everything finally clicks into place. From a purely botanical standpoint, snake plant blooming doesn't happen randomly. It happens under very specific conditions. And once you understand them, this entire mystery starts making a lot more sense. The first thing the plant needs is maturity. We're not talking about a young plant you bought last spring. Snake plant typically needs several years, often somewhere between 3 and 10, before it's even biologically capable of producing a flower. Age alone isn't the trigger, but without it, blooming simply isn't possible yet. Maturity sets the stage. What actually pulls the trigger is something else entirely. Something that sounds almost backwards at first. Mille stress. Now, before you panic, this isn't harmful stress. It's not neglect, and it's definitely not damage. It's a subtle environmental signal. Un message? In a sense, telling the plant that conditions are shifting. Things like watering slightly less than usual, roots becoming a little snug inside their pot, small shifts in temperature between day and night. None of these things harm the plant, but together, they mimic something very specific. The natural transition between seasons in the environment this plant originally comes from, in the wild, across West Africa. This plant doesn't bloom in the middle of a stable, comfortable season. It blooms during transitions, when a dry period is ending, when rain is approaching, because that's the exact window when its offspring would have the best possible chance at survival. So when your snake plant blooms inside your living room, thousands of miles from where this plant originally evolved, it's not behaving randomly. It's responding to signals that, without realizing it, you've recreated yourself through how you water it, through where you placed it, through the small natural rhythms of your own home. And here's where it gets even more fascinating. Snake plant is widely known as one of the most effective air purifying plants you can keep indoors. It's constantly working, quietly pulling toxins out of the air around it, even while you sleep. That process takes energy, a significant amount of it, but once the air around it stabilizes, once that constant internal workload eases, something shifts. The plant suddenly has energy it no longer needs to spend on filtering and defending, and that surplus energy doesn't just disappear. It gets redirected toward growth, toward reproduction, toward that flower. So here's the real takeaway. Science isn't describing something mystical. It's describing a plant that blooms when its environment finally becomes stable enough, safe enough, healthy enough to support new life. Which means tradition was never wrong. It just used a different language to describe the exact same truth. Now that you understand why this happens, here's the part you've actually been waiting for. How do you make it happen in your home, all right? Let's get practical. Because everything we've talked about so far points to this exact moment. What you can actually do, the first factor is light. Your snake plant needs bright, indirect light for at least 6 hours a day. Not direct sun, beating down and scorching the leaves. Just a bright, naturally lit spot. Near a window with a sheer curtain works beautifully, especially one facing east or south. And here's something most people miss. A little seasonal variation in light actually helps. Slightly brighter in spring and summer, slightly dimmer in winter. That subtle shift mimics what happens in nature. Even sitting right there in your living room, Second, and this is the big one, watering. This is where most people accidentally sabotage their own plant. Snake plant does not want frequent watering. Overwatering is the single fastest way to kill it. And it's also the #1 reason it never blooms. The rule is simple. Let the soil dry out completely before you water again. In summer, that might mean every 2 to 3 weeks. In winter, once a month, sometimes even less. Stick your finger into the soil. If it feels even slightly damp, walk away. Don't water it yet. Third, the pot. Don't rush to upgrade it to something bigger the moment it looks slightly snug. Snake plant actually prefers having roots that are a little tight, not suffocating, just comfortably cramped. That subtle pressure is part of what nudges it toward blooming. Fourth, temperature. Most American homes sit around the perfect comfort zone for this plant. But here's a small trick. If nighttime temperatures drop just slightly during fall, nothing dramatic, nothing close to freezing. That gentle shift can act as exactly the kind of seasonal cue we talked about earlier. Fifth, soil and feeding. Use a well-draining mix. Regular potting soil combined with perlite or coarse sand works perfectly. And during spring and summer, feed it occasionally with a diluted, balanced fertilizer. But in fall and winter, stop completely. That rest period matters. It's when the plant quietly stores up the energy it may eventually use to bloom. And the sixth factor, the one almost nobody talks about. Patience. You cannot rush this. Once the right conditions are finally in place, it can still take months before anything happens. But when that slender stalk finally rises from the center of your plant, when those small flowers slowly open at night, filling the room with that soft, sweet fragrance, you'll understand immediately why generations of people across completely different cultures all believed this moment meant something. Here's what I want you to sit with for a second. That flower lasts only a few days. A few, after years, sometimes decades, of doing absolutely nothing. This plant pours everything it has into creating something beautiful. Then it lets it go. Think about that. A plant famous for surviving neglect, for thriving on indifference, for asking for almost nothing, chooses, one single time, to give everything, not because it has to, because somehow, finally, everything around it aligned. And maybe that's the real lesson hiding inside all of this. Science, tradition, Feng Shui. 3 completely different languages, all describing the exact same truth. When the environment is right, when conditions are finally in balance, life doesn't stay quiet for long. It blooms. So look at your own plant differently tonight. Whatever it's been through, whatever you've been through, that flower is proof that none of it was wasted. Has your snake plant ever bloomed? I want to know. Tell me in the comments. Right now. And if this video opened your eyes even a little, hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear this today. Take care of your plants, and take care of yourself too.